Good morning, this is Mayor Valensky with Driving Markets. So first of all, welcome to all the new viewers. There's quite a lot of new viewers that have joined up in the last few days, whether on YouTube Direct or on the WhatsApps. I'd like to ask me a question, how come it's called Driving Markets? They like the title. It's quite simple. One day I was driving in the car and I thought I'd just give a running commentary on what's happening on the markets. And then I thought of, wow, let's call it Driving Markets, driving while talking about the markets. So that's a bit of background. Okay, so let's look at the most amazing turnaround and what's driving markets at the moment. So yesterday the whole world woke up and Russia had started an invasion of Ukraine. Let's just go over that particular point specifically to give you a bit of background. Okay, so there's Russia's excuses or justification for invading Ukraine. Everyone knows and everyone understands it's an absolute load of trash. So Russia invaded Ukraine on the basis that there are separatists on the border of Russia and Ukraine that claim loyalty to Moscow, and they claim that Ukraine has been attacking and bombing Russia and intimidating those separatists. Absolute load of trash. What Putin's real motive is as follows. Number one, he's going to get the gas energy pipeline, all the energy there. Number two, he's going to then be in direct conflict or direct contact with NATO. He didn't want Ukraine joining NATO, and he wants to put in a puppet government in Ukraine that will support Putin. Those are the main reasons. As a result of that invasion yesterday morning, the markets tanked. They were completely down 3%, 4%, 2.5%, depending on which market you're talking about. The Nasdaq specifically was hammered. And when I was speaking to someone yesterday during the day, I said, you know what? I would expect the markets to finish up on the day, of which I got a backlash of saying, absolutely no way the markets are going to finish up. It's not on the day like this when there's war. I said, okay. I didn't bother arguing, but I had my heart of hearts. I felt as though the markets were going to finish up on the day. Why is that? Because when you're trading financial markets, they only trade on fear and they trade on uncertainty. So they were selling on the rumor. And when the fact came out, so what you do is you trade on rumor and you close on fact. Or the other expression is you sell on rumor and buy on fact. So once the war started, there was this fear factor, uncertainty, what's going to happen. The markets came off, and then they began to retrace themselves and rebound, led by the Nasdaq. Why was it led by the Nasdaq? Because those stocks have been hammered recently, whether it's Amazon, Facebook, which is Meta, Netflix, Salesforce, Google, all shot up significantly on the back of the fact was out. Let's buy them cheap, and the market shot up. As it happens, again, the futures are down overnight. So we have to just look at this and say, okay, where is this in the larger scale of things? Where is this going to happen over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, few months? The markets are trending downwards. If you look at the overall graphs, there's a specific head and shoulders being developed on the S&P and on the Nasdaq, where you'll see that when there's a head and shoulders, there is a drop, then there's a rise, and then there's another drop. That is an indication of where the markets are likely to go over the next few weeks. Based on that graph alone, excluding inflation and interest rate factors, you're looking about trending downwards. So even though there was a bounce yesterday, the bounce was significant from the lows all the way into positive territory, it's still trending downwards. So my view is that markets will continue trending downwards with the backdrop of the geopolitical issues and underlying core inflation, which is running again at around about 15-20%. You're going to have a continuous fall in markets. That doesn't mean one straight line. It means simply that the markets are going to bounce around, but the general trend is going to be down. So just be aware of that. Also look at the US Treasury. The US Treasury 10-year yield dropped yesterday to 1.86%. That means everyone was rushing in to buy bonds, and towards the end of the day the yield went up to around about 1.9% because people realized, say, okay, it's not so bad, investors, and they began to reduce the purchasing of US Treasuries. In addition to that, I was also asked, why is the yen, of all the currencies, why is the yen considered a safe haven. So the yen is considered a safe haven for several reasons. Number one, it's got one of the biggest economy next to America in the world. It's got a trade surplus of around about $18 billion a month, so it's continuously in surplus. It's got zero interest rates. Put that all together, investors will borrow money in yen and invest it in other places where they get a stronger return or better return. So the question is, why don't you invest in Germany? Germany is also a fantastic economy, strong, established, got surplus, etc. Because Germany doesn't have its own independent currency. Those who are too young to remember, the German Deutschmark was the original sovereign currency of Germany, but once Germany joined the euro was set up with France and Germany, then it doesn't have its own independent currency, and that currency is then dependent on multi-countries performing, which is unlikely. That's why the euro is not a sought-after currency in times of crisis, but the yen is, because it's a standalone currency that's based on an extremely strong economy. That's why the yen, even today, these days, is sought after as a safe haven. So the safe havens are yen, dollar, gold, and sovereign debt or bonds, because they are deemed to be absolutely safe in times of crisis. Just to give a bit of background regarding currencies and bonds. So I expect over the next few days there'll be extreme volatility. We're not too sure where Putin's going. I don't think he's going to invade any more countries. I think Ukraine is it. But overall, markets will be trending down, in my opinion. So just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, please subscribe. If you haven't liked, please like. You can also follow me. I send out as many WhatsApp groups as possible to make it easier for you to watch on the YouTube. Spread it around. This is Meir Walensky with Driving Markets. Have a good day.